What do you think about the NIL lawsuits and the potential impact on Miami's recruits?
So we have two lawsuits for two known situations. The first one was the University of Florida reneging on the $13 million NIL deal with Jaden Rashada. We've seen the pieces all over the place. That number is confirmed. I know that Florida people are going to say, no, it wasn't. There's documentation that proves that to be false. So shut up. The other one, and again, this is one that I've talked about in other conversations, but like the first big domino was $8 million Nico going to Tennessee. Like it was one of the worst kept secrets in the world of recruiting. Like it came out early. There's a guy in this class 2 years ago in 2022 who, is, I'm sorry, 23 because they were freshmen this year. But in the last recruiting class, who got $8 million from a collective, and it was very quickly confirmed that was Nico Iamaleava and Tennessee. And it was funny to me that everything was going on about Jaden Rashada, right? And I get it. But nobody was talking about $8 million Nico. Like, I literally, if I'm on the phone with my friend Fred, I don't call him by his name. I call him $8 million Nico ever since that came out when he was still in high school. Like, everybody knew that. It was not hidden at all. It was common knowledge. But there was not word the first about that until yesterday or 2 days ago, when there's finally a lawsuit going up against or oversight from the NCAA about Tennessee and Nico and that $8 million, to the point where Tom Mars, the famous attorney, came out and said, well, there was a contract that was executed between Nico Iamaleava and this booster club and, or whatever, because he represents that booster group. Like, the name is out there. I'm not making this stuff up. So what do I think about it? I think that those collectives that are skirting the rules or trying to push the envelope, those are the ones that you see getting caught up. Like when you have Georgia, USC, Texas, right? Miami. But remember, Texas came out and said, hey, every offensive line recruit, $50,000 a year for the duration of the time that you are a Longhorn. If you do that in the right way with the proper structure, ain't no problem. Remember, people were freaking out 2 years ago because Nigel Pack, the basketball player, got $800,000 to come to Miami in an NIL deal from Kansas State, number 24, starring for the team. Yeah, right. Everybody was all on that. Oh, well, but if you execute it according to the rules that are in place, there ain't no problem. $8 million Nico, don't think that was executed within the constraints of the rules as constructed. We damn sure know what Florida and Jaden Rashada had going on ran directly afoul of the rules. So I say that to say that if you're not following the structures in place for NIL and recruiting and all those things, yeah, you're going to run into trouble. If you are following the rules and structures in the way that they are, ain't no problem. Look, Jeremiah Smith fake signed on signing day and said, I need my lawyer to go over this contract for NIL with whatever the collective is from Columbus to ensure that this is what it is. And it's, on the up and up. I won't be jeopardizing my eligibility, any of that stuff. I need to see that and get that signed before you get my national letter of intent. I'm sure that there's the same thing with some Miami dudes. Okay, we want to be sure that we have all this. But yeah, if you're doing things the way that they need to be done, I've seen Sean O'Dare, who's a Miami alum, and he's a lawyer. I've seen other people come on and say, yeah, y'all are talking about Miami in this, but I can guarantee you, because I'm in these, Brett Heitner, another one, I can guarantee you, I'm in the room. I looked at the legal language with my law degree. Ain't no issue. So for me, I'm not concerned. It's just like, hey, we can go, say we were all married, right? And we went out for a boys' night. Hey, we're going to have a beer. Cool. We're going to go home. You ain't worried about your girl thinking you're cheating? No, because I'm not. Do what you do. And hey, but like for me, I'm here. I'm going to have a beer. Cool. Dap you guys up and I'm going to go home. Now, if you're Rodney and Rodney's like, yeah, okay, cool. I'm here for half an hour, one beer. Hey, man, I got to go do a thing or whatever before I go home. Yeah. So then maybe if Rodney's fictional wife Stacy comes by and is like, yo, I was just driving by as I where's Rodney at? He's probably going to get in trouble. Because he's probably not doing things the way that they need to be done. But the rest of us who are, ain't no smoke. Same exact thing in the world of recruiting. And yes, we're singling out the two schools who have been brought up on these, these allegations and things. Everybody in the sport is using NIL, period. You think that Malachi, what's his name from USC?
Nelson.
Malachi Nelson went to Boise State out of the goodness of his heart? Come on now. He got a bag. But again, if you're doing it in the structures that are, in place, ain't no problem, ain't no smoke. So for me, being years into this and like Miami being at the forefront of this, seeing that this is a thing that was going to change and, taking advantage of the situation, I don't have any concerns. My only concern is if they get greedy and try to break rules like Tennessee and Florida did. But otherwise, no, I'm good with it. And potential impact on Miami recruits, I don't think it's going to have impact because from demonstrated action with this engagement across multiple sports, across multiple years, this has been done by the absolute letter and intent of the law. So, except for the Cavender twins, because they went to somebody's house for dinner, who their parents knew, but still, that was like a minor little itty bitty thing. The women's coach was like, I didn't even know that they did that. She got suspended for 3 games or whatever, because you had to have some kind of thing. But like literally with the University of Miami, you're talking about twin women's basketball players, and it's one dinner with somebody that they knew, and that is the infraction. Otherwise, you cannot name it. So I am going to uphold or hold Miami to the standard that they continue to execute along this path of following the rules and structures that are in place. And if they change, get knowledgeable about what those changes are and continue to follow down that path. But I think that is a concern, Corey, for those other schools who are trying to cheat, as opposed to Miami, who is leveraging the system but not cheating it.
I had a conversation recently with a Florida individual who we did not take it down this path, but they implied that while the NCAA is going to be investigating the University of Florida concerning Jaden Rashada, that some things may come to light about Miami's offers to him.
Fine. Cool. All right. I mean, and look, I'm not going to say that there wasn't a conversation or whatever. Like, I'm not going to say that there wasn't, because like, you're not recruiting an All-American quarterback without that conversation. It's different though if it's, again, it's different. I was going to say something hypothetically, but I'm not sure if that happened, and I do not want to slander that person and like even hypothetically make that comparison. All I'm saying is, we know for a fact the process and engagement that happened with Florida ran afoul of the rules.